If your beef always turns out tough and chewy, no matter what you do, I promise it is not your fault and it is not the meat. For years, mine came out the same way until a Chinese friend showed me what I was missing. Hi everyone, I'm Emma. Today, I'm taking the cheapest, leanest beef from the grocery store and making it so tender it falls apart in your mouth. There's one step almost everyone skips, and that one step changes everything. Stay with me and I'll show you. Before we do any slicing, here's a small tip that makes a big difference. Place the beef in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes first. Chilling the meat slightly firms it up, making it much easier to slice thinly and evenly. After 30 minutes, remove the beef and start slicing. Aim for slices about ½ inch thick. More importantly, make sure you're cutting across the grain. Take a close look at the direction of the muscle fibers and cut perpendicular to them. This shortens the fibers, making each bite noticeably easier to chew, which is especially kind on older teeth. And beef is worth doing right. It's rich in protein that helps keep our muscles strong as we age, and in iron for healthy blood and steady energy. Once all the beef is sliced, place it into a bowl. Add a small amount of baking soda directly to the meat. It may seem like an unusual ingredient, but this is a technique that has been used in Chinese kitchens for years. Use your hands or a spoon to mix everything thoroughly so each piece is lightly coated. Here's why it works. Baking soda gently raises the surface pH, which stops the proteins from tightening up too fast in a hot pan. That's the difference between chewy and tender. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap and let it rest for about 30 minutes. During this time, the baking soda quietly works its magic. By the way, which country are you watching this video from? Leave a comment below. I always enjoy reading where everyone is tuning in from around the world. When the time is up, remove the plastic wrap and give the beef a rinse with water. This step is important because it removes any excess baking soda and helps prevent a bitter taste in the finished dish. But here's the interesting part. What you've just done is only half of the tenderizing process. The real transformation happens in the next step, and that's where this ordinary supermarket beef begins to take on that soft, juicy texture people usually associate with their favorite Chinese restaurant. Place all of the beef into a large zip-top bag. Next, add a few ice cubes, a little salt, and a small amount of pepper. This combination does more than season the meat. The cold temperature helps the beef absorb moisture while staying firm. The salt begins seasoning from the inside. Now add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 1 egg white. As the ingredients coat the beef, they form a thin, protective layer around each slice. Instead of losing moisture too quickly, the beef stays protected and retains more of its natural juices. Seal the bag and gently massage everything together until every piece is evenly coated. When you're ready to cook, heat a skillet until it's properly hot. Arrange the beef slices in a single layer. Most importantly, don't flip the beef too soon. Let the first side develop a light golden crust before turning it over. This helps create flavor while locking in moisture. One of the biggest reasons beef becomes dry and tough is that it loses too much of its natural juice during cooking. Once the beef has been lightly seared, transfer it to a plate and set it aside for a moment. Don't worry if it isn't fully cooked yet. We're going to finish it later in the sauce. Using the same pan, add sliced onions and bell peppers. Stir fry over medium-high heat for a few minutes. While the vegetables cook, let's prepare the sauce. In a small bowl, combine chili sauce, soy sauce, and some dried chili flakes if you enjoy a bit of heat and a splash of cooking oil. Stir everything together until smooth. This sauce may seem simple, but each ingredient plays an important role. Pour the sauce over the vegetables, then toss everything together. Now return the beef to the pan. Within a minute or two, you'll notice something happening. As the sauce heats up, it begins to thicken and coat every piece of beef with a beautiful glossy glaze. This is exactly the finish we're looking for. Take a look at the beef now. The slices are tender, juicy, and coated in a shiny sauce that clings to every bite. When you cut into a piece, it doesn't feel tough or chewy. Instead, it has that soft, velvety texture that many people associate with their favorite Chinese restaurant dishes. And the best part? It started with an ordinary piece of supermarket beef. That's the power of a few simple techniques done the right way. If you try this method, let me know how it turns out in the comments. I'd love to hear whether it changed the way you cook beef at home. And if you enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who always complains that their beef turns out tough. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next kitchen tip.